devastating, although it is not the only
Well, let's hear
devastating
what he
piece
has
of
to say
evidence. And
here,
I'll just read to you
because
just
I completely
right
disagree once
after the
again.
part where he says, well, I could have declassified it, but I can't. So Trump says, now I can't, but this is still a secret. And what I love
Well,
is
the
the
first part
staffer
of that,
responds
how do I
saying,
stop this for a
now we have a
second?
problem.
Why
Doing
can't I
wrong.
see?
Yeah, the problem, it's like,
Where's the part where
mission
you,
control, we
okay.
have a problem. Yeah, because we now have a classified document in our possession, and you knew that you couldn't do it. I know you couldn't do it, and now we have it. And
Okay, so, well, what do I think about that? Well, it's problematic. It is problematic, right? And so if I'm the lawyer for Trump, the amateur lawyer for Trump, I'm scratching my head. I mean, what am I going to do? My client is on tape saying something that is completely devastating and incriminating. What do I do about this? Well, first, I'm going to be looking to exclude that tape from evidence, right? I don't want my jury hearing this discussion. And so, now this calls into question rules of evidence. Don't look at me. Don't look at me with that. But there's got to be a basis upon which that piece of evidence doesn't come in, right? Fundamentally, first step, right? We block that out. If we can't block it out, what do we do? I think what we do is we reinterpret this discussion. I mean, certainly the experts have their own interpretation. Certainly the DOJ has its own interpretation. Certainly even Trump and apparently the person he was speaking with had their own interpretation of what the law actually was. Did any of them know what the law really was on this? I mean, I would argue no, not even Trump. Trump is not a lawyer. He's not a constitutional expert, right? He's a real estate development guy who became president. He has no idea about what the Constitution says, or any of the other statutes, frankly, pertaining to classified documents or how documents are classified, A, but B, and more importantly, the powers, once again, of the office of the president of the executive powers. Who has executive powers, and when do those powers end, and where does it give us the steps of, the time frame of when the executive powers begin and when executive powers end? When does a president stop being a president, right? We know when he stops being the president, but when does he stop being a president? I'm not sure that Trump himself is clear on the answer to that question, but I think that is a very key question, if not the question, right? When does a president stop being a president and therefore an executive with executive powers, including the power to possess, handle, manage, read, move, etc., classified information pertaining to the government of the United States? Let's continue to listen to this very interesting conversation.
Right. By the way, it's on tape. Right. Instead of Houston, we have a problem. It's Miami, we have a problem.
Well, and what's so astounding about that transcript is the parts in italics where the staffer is laughing throughout. Like, it's so brazen that they know that this document is classified, and they're laughing about it. Oh, I could have declassified it, I didn't, ha ha ha. Like, this is really serious. It's a serious document, and he also talks about why. You get some of the motive in that transcript where he says, well, I totally won my case with this document because General Milley was saying, actually, it was Trump who wanted to attack Iran and I was trying to stop him. And this document, Trump says, this proves he was wrong. I win my case. And it just goes back to why was he doing this? And you think like, oh, okay, it's just petty. It's just...
She just dug their own hole right there, right? Because when you bring a president of the United States, in my opinion, in my very humble amateur opinion, on these very serious federal charges of espionage and obstruction and retention of documents for nefarious reasons, seditious reasons, you better have a motive that is more than just he's just a petty little guy who kept it because he wanted to prove I win my case, right? Because that is not the kind of motive that proves espionage, that proves that someone had the intention of an enemy of the United States in wartime, which is language that is used in the Espionage Act. They had this intent to harm the United States. This woman just delivered Trump. Can we bring her in as a witness? Because she said that it's clear for her, and I'm assuming she's an expert. I mean, she looks a lot smarter than me, that this was just Trump being petty, like a child, right? This is not the mens rea needed to prove a spy, an enemy of the United States, whose intent was to hurt the United States. And this is part of the statute for espionage and all of these other whatever statutes. I'm not even sure what they are at this point because I'm this is in real time. I'm as I go along, I'm looking at this because I have not been looking at this case. I've been busy looking at other things. But it seems to me that if Trump's crime is that he acted irresponsibly and like a child. Oh, here, see, I proved my case. It wasn't me. I was innocent. I'm not the one who wanted to do this or that to Iran. Okay. And this guy was saying I did. And no, I didn't. See, it's right here. Right. And yes, it's very petty. But that's not what the statute requires for a conviction. Not a childish man behaving in a petty manner, but someone who is an enemy of the United States, whose intent is to harm the United States.